Some would say corruption. Some would say fair play. Welcome back to Fog Football. Let's talk about that disallowed goal, shall we? 1.5k votes in the bank, and it's split as per usual.
Like a banana split.
Like a banana split.
Like a top six split.
I'm noticing the first comment here for Kenny. Are we doing a poll on the blatant handball
Like the
next?
split in my arse when Shanklin leaves Hearts.
Fair enough, but right. See the handball that Ben Davies did? We will put up for a poll. The reason why it didn't go up for a poll, because it didn't actually affect the game, because Celtic won anyway. But we will still put up for a poll.
Or it could be because the neutral hasn't got his hands on the community section for the past few days and he's not been able to give a fair, reflective take of a hand.
If you actually listen to our vids, you take Celtic defeats worse than me these days.
Yeah.
I think you do. Anyway, was there nothing in it? 49% said it should have stood.
Well, I agree with the 49%.
51% say no, clear push on Joe. I seen a comment
51%
earlier.
51% are desperate.
Comment earlier said it was like Dowderby what Raskin did on Joe Hart.
Fuck off. I don't get it, right? Yeah, Raskin might have gave Joe Hart a little push in the back, but you want to talk about WWE, do you not see the fact that Greg Taylor is wrestling Raskin from behind, both arms wrapped around him? Now, personally, I don't think either's a foul. Alright, I think it takes more than that to get a foul in the box. But if you're going to give a foul against Raskin for a push, then shouldn't you be giving a foul also against Greg Taylor because he's got both his arms wrapped around the body of Raskin? Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't give anything, but if you're going to give the fouls, then surely the fouls cancel each other out and the goal should stand anyway.
What would you say, though, if it was a push on Craig Gordon?
I'd say Craig Gordon shouldn't have been out of position in the first place because Joe Hart wasn't getting that ball.
But would you want it called off?
No. Like, fucking score a goal. We're shite. We're not going to win anything anyway, so knock yourselves out.
Knock yourselves out. Anyway, that is where...
If this was American football, what would have happened was there would have been a flag thrown for Celtic, a flag thrown for Rangers, and the referee would have went, well, look, you got a flag, both flags cancel each other out, goal stands.
Nick Walsh doesn't really treat it that way, does he, though?
No, I mean, Nick Walsh... None of the Scottish officials really treat it that way.
Joseph says, Big Joe a legend. It was definitely a morale penalty. Holy angels, even a blind man could see that push from the Glasgow Celtic man, Johans. Wait, what?
I mean, technically a blind man can't see shit, so...
that comment, there's a lot of commas in there and a lot, I don't know. He's from South Africa, though, so Big Hugh for South Africa. Where is the poll for Taylor wrestling with Raskin or Dujan being double-checked by Scales? Well, I mean, there's no point doing a poll for Greg Taylor wrestling with Raskin because if you think that's a foul, then the goal should have stood because it cancels each other out.
Yeah.
So if you're voting for this goal should have stood, then you're taking a vote for Greg Taylor.
But I just don't get it, man. They slow it down and they draw the circle around Raskin, and then you just see Raskin getting held. I'm not saying that I think that should be a foul, but if you're going to pull back Raskin here and say he's fouled the goalkeeper, why can't you look at the same fucking screen and see that Raskin's got Greg Taylor's arms wrapped around his fucking stomach? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Slippy67 says, honestly, just accept the defeat and move on. It's a cup game. You already blew the league. Right, it's all good him saying that, and I'm not greeting too much.
See when decisions went. See when Hearts 2, Celtic now. Did Celtic just move on, or did they cry like little fucking bitches? What happened there?
I think they cried like little bitches.
And no, the guy boots him in the fucking face. Oh, how dare you send him off? Oh,
that was wrestling though between Raskin and Hart, but
this was wrestling.
The big boot was playful fighting.
That was play fighting, pillow fighting. That wasn't a big fucking MMA.
But anyway, back to my point, right? We have to put polls up. See, because we put polls up, even though in this instance we actually think the goal should have stood, just because we put polls up doesn't mean we necessarily agree with it. I feel like a lot of comments are almost worded towards us too. Like, what the fuck are you doing putting the poll up?
Yeah, we don't agree. We just put a poll up to see what you guys think. It's nothing... Us putting a poll up doesn't necessarily mean we agree with one side or we disagree. And to say that I'm always against Celtic, that's not true. That 3-3 game, I thought Celtic were robbed, to be honest. I don't think that was a penalty whatsoever on Fabio Silva. So to say I said that wasn't a penalty. But to say that I never I always go against Celtic. It's just factually not true.
Factually not true. Penalty Celtic. That Rangers player was auditioning for WWE, pushing Joe Hart like it was nearly
Oh, fuck off, man.
common assault. Fug. That's what he said.
No, football is going to become basketball. It's going to become a non-contact sport where you're not even allowed to look at players. You're going to make eye contact. The referee's going to come over and give you a red card. Oh, how dare you look at him? There's a red, son. Go and take a shower. That is what's going to happen. I mean, come on, man. I can't believe we're saying this.
He did put a laughing emoji, so maybe he was exaggerating or ripping the piss out.
Maybe he was talking shite. How about those apples?
How about those apples? Those apples are rotten. Pushed all day long. Not being done about tackle on that mat. Alright, Stuart, reel it in, son. String a sentence together before you can come back. Taylor had Raskin in a bear hug almost, and Balogun was fouled at the near post. One rule for Celtic.
Well, I didn't see Balogun getting fouled, but I did see Taylor grabbing Raskin. But let's say Raskin doesn't score, right? I don't think what Greg Taylor's doing is enough for a penalty. Take away the shove, right, and take away the goal.
Well, it's absolutely not, no.
See if the only thing you've got there is Greg Taylor grabbing I don't think that's enough for a penalty, because you see that all the time. That's been part of football forever. And yes, maybe now it's beginning to get cracked down on because of VAR or whatever, but things like, I mean, it's not like he's fucking shoving them to... Players jostle and hustle for fucking... I was going to say respect there, John Cena. But, you know, they're hustling for position. You're jostling. You're getting in the way of people. You're pushing. You're shoulder barging. That shit happens in football. So I don't think that's a penalty alone. But I think when you're going to actually bring it back and you're going to say then Raskin did push Joe Hart, then I think you need to say, well, if you're going to say that's a foul, then why aren't you being consistent? Why aren't you saying Greg Taylor wrapping both arms around Raskin and preventing him from moving? Why is that not a foul? Because surely, if a push is a foul, then surely holding someone with two arms around their waist and preventing them from going towards the ball, surely that is also a foul. That has to be.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be.
If you're going to give a push, then you have to say that Greg Taylor was restricting Raskin by grabbing him round the...
But no, the problem is, I think when they show VAR, they only show the push. They don't really show the Greg Taylor thing.
Yeah, but you can see it, man. It's in the same fucking... If you see the push, you can see the hold.
The hold. Anyway, fucking unbelievable. The Rangers get beat. End of. Champions 1-0, Hammer Throwers 0. If it was the other way around, we would be raging. It was a bit soft, but the rules and far watching just can't get away with it. But it was up them, no us, so it's fine.
So as long as Rangers are getting shafted, it's all great. It's all great. Everything's fantastic.
Celtic won at the end of the day as a neutral. Rangers were robbed, says Stokey. Were they robbed?
I thought the goal should have stood, but you know what? You can't say that Rangers would definitely go on and win if they score. No, that goal could wake up Celtic.
See if you flip, right? See if you flip the decisions that have went against Rangers in recent Old Firms and put them onto Celtic and actually say Rangers beat Celtic. Big if there, by the way. Could you imagine the fucking meltdown? Sharks, barricades, whatever. They'd be selling it.
Are we going back to this, Anthony? Are we going back to the Johnson handball?
No, well, I mean, I'm talking about this season.
Can we all agree that was overall the correct decision, but they just made a fuck up of it?
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, that was an instant this season, but I'm more on a bit like Laga Bielka, that one.
No, I agree that one was wrong, but I think we can all agree that the Anthony, despite the officials making an arse of it and lying through their
last
teeth,
season, the Morelos one as well,
and changing their mind 30 minutes later. Two wrongs don't make a right, and I think we can all agree that in the end that was actually offside. Even though they never gave it offside, and the officials fucked up, and they just tried to save themselves half an hour later. But the call that should have been made originally was offside.
The crazy thing is, if they gave it as a penalty, we would have been saying how Celtic were screwed. Because they would have looked at it and went, holy fuck, he's offside, clearly. But because they actually deemed it as no handball, Rangers were deemed as screwed.
Anyway, Scottish referees are shite, aren't they, at the end of the day?
Yep, and user says Celtic won at the end of the day.
But not just referees in general are shite. And I think VAR is I think it's making them look worse, because Now they've got this tool at their disposal, and they're not using it correctly. Back in the day, I think you could forgive a referee because you only see it one time. You know, if a referee missed it or he didn't have a great angle of it, you could forgive him. But now, when your referees are getting things clearly wrong, it's just unforgivable.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, if the police have no evidence and they let a killer go, then, there's not a lot you can do about that. But if you have the evidence slammed on your desk in bold writing, 22 size font, and you look at it, and the evidence is there, and you go, not guilty, then fuck, what you doing? And that's what the referees are doing. They're seeing things clearly in front of them, and they're still getting it wrong.
Mercury's...
Well, let's be honest, right? I mean, who's benefited more for decisions this season? I know who it is.
Celtic.
It is,
Mercury says Sevco cheated throughout the game.
Hold on, remember that Aberdeen one in the Cup semi-final? That was a joke. That was an absolute joke that Junior Hoyland never got that penalty. What a load of shite. Oh, because he wasn't in possession of the ball? Well, since when was that a rule? So you can just run up and fucking two-foot somebody as long as they don't have the ball at their feet and break their leg. And
Alistair Johnson at Easter Road wasn't in possession of the ball. They gave that. So fucking make their mind up.
And then the Kelly guy against Rangers, forget who it was, he gets sent off, but Alistair Johnson fucking throws his arm at the ball to actually block it against Kelly to prevent a goal. And I mean, that's not even a penalty or nothing.
How many players, though, do you see trying to get on a ball and they get wiped out and it's given as a penalty?
No, but I can't remember who it was. That Kelly guy was robbed against Rangers, because you look at the Alistair Johnson example against Kilmarnock, and that wasn't even a foul wasn't even given there. No penalty given.
Yeah, Rangers get fucked against Kelly too, though. With Suter and the other one. They even said that Lundstrom one at Rugby Park wasn't one. So, again, seems to be only one team coming out on top. And it's a team that's on top of the league table as well.
Aye.
And it's Celtic Football Club. Anyway, guys, that's where we're going to leave this video. End of the day, we can cry about this decision all we want, but you know what? I can see why they've disallowed it. There have been worse decisions this season. Would they have disallowed it if it was flipped? I'm not too convinced. Till next time, peace.